Today we are talking about the event day walkthrough. This is going to be a fairly long video because there is a lot that I do before I take the stage. Today we have 15 teaching points. And of course, as always, there's a document that's going to be linked below this video for you to download and study. With that being said, let's get started. Number one, arrive at least an hour early for check-in. Meet the staff, meet some students, meet the leadership kids, do a proper sound check, walk through the room, record some content, meet the principal, maybe even do a little podcast with the principal. That's what I'm currently doing. And then rest in peace before you speak, right? Know that everything is as it should be before you take that stage. It takes away some uncertainty, which takes away some fear and anxiety, which means you can do a better job. Number two, check in at the front office, but be warm, kind, and motivational. You're a motivational speaker. So as soon as you walk into the room, you need to lift and shift the atmosphere. You need to motivate the secretary. You need to walk in and they need to feel the shift in the room. That's the first impression. Make it count. Number three, sound check and AV setup. This is where I spend most of my time, making sure that the microphones work, making sure that they have new batteries in them, even if they said it's good. I can't tell you how many times they're like, oh yeah, we just changed those. No, I bring my own batteries and I'm putting batteries in there with my own two hands so that way I know it's not going to go out in the middle of the presentation. Once that happened to me 2 times, 1 time shame on me, twice I was like, all right, I'm never letting that happen again. Same thing for your clickers and everything that you have. Make sure they have fresh batteries in them. I just see it as an expense. I know that I could do 2 or 3 schools on one set of batteries, but I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not doing it. Check all things that need batteries. Check all the sound levels. If you run a keynote that has videos and stuff like that, you know that sometimes one video is louder than the other videos. So you need to check all the videos and let them play through and make sure that nothing's gonna crap out in the middle. I can't tell you how many times I've played a video and it's like, oh yeah, it's working. All right, yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then once you get to showtime and you play it like halfway through the video, it starts crapping out and it's just a setting that you need to change in the Mac or something. And so just play everything through and make sure that it's gonna work. Get somebody to help you with the lighting. If you're bringing your own camera, setting up your own camera, get them to get the stage lighting ready and get somebody to stand up on stage for you so you can mess with your camera and see how it's going to look. Like, oh, stand there. Where should I stand? Understand on the stage where you can go and where you can't go, where the light's not on you, so you know that your videos are going to look good. There's nothing worse than setting up your camera and then you have good lighting on one side of the stage, but you're walking over there in the dark, in and out of the light. You messed up your video. You have to understand, it's like a production. You wouldn't go to somebody's concert and they show up 30 minutes before. There's people that have been there all day making sure that this is perfect, and the artist knows where they can and can't stand. Same thing with the microphones. There's certain places that where you go, you're going to get feedback. You're going to have this loud screech, and immediately the crowd is out of the moment with you. Do all that, do your sound check, have your own backup cables, HDMI, aux cords, have your own cables. Never assume that the school is ready. Never assume that they got it. Sound check protects the entire event, so do a good job. Number 4, meet the staff that you'll be working with. I do breakout sessions with counselors and staff members, so I like to meet the principals, the assistant principals, the counselors, the teachers, the coaches, the IT person. I like to meet everybody that I possibly can. I want to sit down with them. I want to know, what do you think are your challenges? What are the challenges the staff is facing? What's the challenges that the student's facing? Is there anything that I should know before I start this program? And this just gives you insight and it builds rapport. Number 5, meet the student leaders. This is so important. I like to meet with the student leaders, even if it's just for 5-10 minutes before I get on stage. And I just ask them, what do you want me to tell them? You know, they're the leaders of the school. They've been trying to tell these kids a bunch of different things. They've been trying to get these kids involved for years maybe at this point. So, hey, what do you want me to say? I want insights into the culture. I want to know what the vibe on the campus is. What are you struggling with? What are they struggling with? What are you excited about? What do you think they're excited about? This really helps me jump up on stage and say things immediately that matter to the audience. Think about it like when you watch a comedian, they get up on stage, the first 5 or 10 minutes, what are they doing? They're doing kind of crowd work. They're talking about the city, they're talking about things that are familiar, and then they get into the regular material. I do the same thing. I meet with the student leaders. I get to know what the school's thinking about, talking about, struggling with, excited about, and then I go talk about that for 4 or 5 minutes at the beginning of the presentation so they feel like, oh, he gets us, he knows us, and I care. I tell people all the time, I'm not a professional speaker, I'm a professional listener. And if you listen to someone, then you know how to help them. Number 6, take a tour of the school. This is why I show up over an hour early, because you're already like, we're at number 6 out of 15. Like, how much do you do before you get there or before you get on stage? A lot. Really a lot. Honestly, I book schools as if I'm there the whole day. So I show up at the beginning of the day and I might not be speaking till 10:30. One of the last schools that I went to, I was there at least 2 hours early. I met with the kids. I did a whole driving tour of the school. And I just got to know the environment, the culture. I got to know the principal's vision, the energy of the campus. It just builds trust with administrators, and it just lets me understand the culture. I mean, I'm here to shift the culture, but I'm not going to take a tour of the campus. I went and met the kids that are in special education. I went and sat down with them, built puzzles last week, and I had a great time, and I was inspired by these young kids. And, that's a big part of my program, inclusion matters. And so I go meet the students that I'm directly talking to and that my program's for and about. Number 7, I've started to do this recently, and I highly recommend it. I record about a 15 to 20 minute podcast with the principal. I ask about 5 questions that I ask every principal, and I sit down in his office, I set up my camera, and we talk about school culture, we talk about their mission, their vision. Sometimes I do this at the same time of doing the campus tour. If I have a videographer with me that we can walk and talk, then we just kind of walk and do the tour and we film it. And this is something brand new, just started doing it this year, but I thought it was a great idea. And, asking them questions like why they brought me in, why they chose me, it kind of doubles as a testimonial, because if you ask the right questions, you get the right answers out of them. And like, oh, we chose you because of this, and this, and we thought this would be great. And so that can also be used in a testimonial. It also can be used for B-roll for a later clip or a recap video and stuff like that, mixed in with your content from you on stage. It boosts marketing and it builds authority. So take advantage of every moment that you have before you set the stage. Number 9, a mental reset. So after all of that, that's a lot. You need, and this is not a lot of time, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to just sit there behind the stage, deep breaths, center yourself, set your intentions, remind yourself why you are here, because your mindset determines your presence on stage. This is very important. Number 10, deliver your message. Now you know the culture, you know the staff point of view, you know the student point of view, you know the principal, the leader's vision, you've taken the tour, now you're here at this moment, you got your mind right. It's time to bring the energy, bring clarity to the audience, bring passion, and just serve the room. Do not perform it. You're not a performer. When you are on stage and you are being authentic and you're there to serve, it is not a performance. And if it feels like a performance to the audience, it's going to seem like you're acting, like it's fake, like you don't care. And that's why I like to have those conversations with decision makers, with the staff and the students beforehand, because it allows me to be present with the audience and not perform. Number 11, use your free value slide. Even when I'm talking to students, I'm still using a QR code at the end. And my QR code is different. It's a different free value, of course. For the students, it's going to be something like, hey, now it's your turn to tell your story. If you tell your story, then we'll send you this blueprint. It's specifically for what students need to do to overcome anxiety and depression, something like that. It depends on the audience. And we know this beforehand by talking to the decision makers and seeing what the kids are dealing with the most. So we change this depending on the audience. If it's educators, it might be something like a blueprint for the Culture Shift Tour, how we do what we do so you can do it too. It grows your email list when you're with educators, adults. I wouldn't be mailing kids emails. I'm not doing that. But it creates warm leads for the future and for future bookings. For the kids, it gets them to follow you on social media, which on social media, they're going to come and they're going to comment and they're going to say great things about your presentation. I want you to screenshot that, and then you can put that in the newsletter for your decision makers, for the educators, so they can see your impact. Number 12, debrief with the coordinator of the event right afterwards. Don't wait. As soon as you get off stage, go over to the coordinator, whoever it is. Kids might swarm you. They're going to swarm you and the coordinator. They're going to start saying great things about the presentation. The coordinator gets to hear it. And when they say, thank you so much for coming to school, you say, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her or him, right? And then afterwards, after you sign all the books and the shoes and all that stuff, go ask the coordinator, number 1, for a testimonial in another quiet room, and then thank them. Ask them how it went. Ask them if there's anything else that they need. Plant that rebooking seed. Confirm the follow-up call that we've already set. Tell them you'll bring photos, the recap video, and all that stuff to that call. And it's just the most important part of the day, honestly, to wrap everything up and make sure that you did a good job. This is one of the most important conversations that you'll have. So at this point, energy's high. It's time to talk about future plans. Number 13, this is only if you do not have a videographer. If you have a videographer, the videographer should be getting B-roll before, during, and after the event. So if you don't have a videographer, then after you talk to the coordinator at the moment of highest satisfaction, that's why we want to do that first before this, then ask them, hey, can I walk the halls? Can I film a little bit outside just to get some B-roll for this recap video that I'm going to send you? I've never had anybody tell me no. You can ask them, can I take some photos, quick 5-second clips, some stage shots. This is when you have a chance to do all the extras for social media. So I do call to actions for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and for ads and stuff like that. Since I already had the lighting set up, I have a stage and I have my camera, I go sit on the edge of the stage and I say things like, hey, if you enjoyed that video and you want me to come to your school, go click the link in my bio, blah, 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 blah. I go do a call to action. Then later I can edit those into clips and reels that I'm posting on social media. But I have a different stage behind me all the time, so it just builds trust and authority with my audience online. So take advantage of this. You're already there, you're in a new place, and you have the lighting, and you have the stage, and you have the energy, and you just did a good job, and you're in a good mood. Just do it. Just do it. Get more content. Get as much content as you possibly can. Number 14 is the positive exit. Before leaving, say goodbye. Oh my gosh, I used to travel with speakers that would speak, and they would look around and be like, oh, decision maker or principal or whoever must be busy. I don't see him. Let's just go. And they just go. I'm like, dude, you got to say bye. You got to say thank you. Go back to the office staff. Go dap people up. Give people hugs. Thank the tech team. Thank everybody that helped you. And for God's sakes, clean up your space. Do not leave your water bottles or your protein wrappers everywhere. I mean, leave the place better off than when you found it. Leave them thinking, that was easy. No, seriously, I want you to think about that for a second. And I say this to all my clients. I had a client book me not too long ago, and they said that the person that they booked before me was really hard. They had all this merch and all these tables and all this setup and all these requirements, and they even asked them to release some incense into the air for a certain scent, for a certain smell. I was like, oh my God, the ego. I'm not going to mention any names, but I was like, my job is to make your job easier. And that's what I reinforced. I was with them for 5 days. We did a whole tour together, the person that booked me, and I kept telling them, my job is to make your job easier. And they kept griping about the person that they hired the year before and how hard it was. And everybody they were working with at each school, they were like, this is so much better, this is so much better. And I kept saying, my job is to make your job easier. And I embedded that into their mind. They'll hit me up next year because they want an easier job. Their job's already as hard as it gets, right? All right, moving on. Last thing, number 15, rest. It's so emotionally and physically draining to do this job. If you've ever done 100 or more days on the road like I have, and I did it for a 10-year period straight, over 100 days gone, you know it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, depending on how you see it and how you respond to it. So I used to, when I was young and gunning it, right? I would go to the school, I would do a good job, and then afterwards, I'd go try to do something fun. I would go have fun. I would go do more things. I would go see the town. I would go do everything. I would call people. I would keep on talking, then I'd lose my voice, and the next week I'd be sick and sad. What goes up comes down. It happens. So you have to learn how to balance. After high days, there will be low days, and you have to learn how to rest and reinvest in yourself during those days. So I always try to get IVs, rest, just sleep. Like if you're gonna try to fly home to get home at 10 p.m. versus just staying one more night and getting home the next day at 11 a.m., take the extra night and sleep. Go sleep. You're trying to get home to your family, but you're sick and you're run down. So number 15 is to rest. Just rest. All right, with that being said, that's it for today's video. I hope you got value out of it. Of course, download the doc below, study it, and take action. I'll see you in the next video.